Brad, thank you. 7 in a row without a win to start the season for the Hurricanes. 6 in a row without winning in this building. They'll try to end that here tonight. Starting goalie is brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of the NHL. Like his team, Cam Ward looking for his first win of the year. The Conn Smythe winner from 05 is 0-2-1 to start. And for the Canucks, Ryan Miller looks to become the 30th goalie in history to get to 300 career wins. Number 299 was a couple nights ago when he backstopped Vancouver to the win over Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. Eric Staal to start this game, back after missing 5. Centering the line with Tulowitzki and Semin. Canucks have Sedins and Vrbata up front. Radim Vrbata going against one of the many franchises he's played for in his NHL career, and he comes into this one riding a 4-game point streak. Puck sent into the Vancouver zone. Miller tips it free to Kevin Bieksa. His pass deflects to Dan Hamhuis. Daniel Sedin tried to make a play at center, but he was checked by Justin Falk. Tulowitzki, who had his second career hat-trick earlier this season, moves in on the left wing. Canucks take the puck away, but it's off the skate of Henrik Sedin. Here's Staal centering for Semin. Tulowitzki with a backhander, went off the side of the goal. Daniel Sedin to Henrik Sedin. 4 goals already this year for the Canuck captain. He's supposed to be the setup man. That puts him on pace for 41, John. Ryan Murphy with a pass ahead, and Elias Lindholm tips the puck in. Chris Tanev around for Alex Edler. The other Alex, Burrows, trying to move the puck forward, but it's held in by Lindholm. Riley Nash after the puck. But taken away by Tanev, who fights off the check of Nash and gets the puck down to the Carolina blue line. Tim Gleason sends it quickly ahead, and Lindholm's in on the right wing. His wrist shot off the stick of Edler, and the puck deflects over the glass for a whistle.
This period brought to you by Toyota's Happy 50th event, celebrating 50 great years in Canada.
They did credit Yuri Tulowitzki with a shot on that backhander in close. Maybe Miller got a piece of it before it hit the side of the goal. So the Hurricanes with the only shot of the hockey game. Here come the Canucks. Richardson cutting in on goals. And
I think it's in.
I think it hit the underside of the bar. The referee says it's in. Ryan Pochmara pointing to the net on a rising wrister from Brad Richardson. And it appears to be 1-0 Canucks, a minute 32 in.
You're talking about the first shot on goal and a good start for the Canucks. Here's the first shot by Brad Richardson in tight, and yes, right underneath the bar. And Cam Ward has that one go over his shoulder. Look at how deep he is. Richardson didn't have many options. Able to get that one over the shoulder of Cam Ward.
Canucks didn't celebrate right away. The red lights that adorn the glass here at Rogers Arena didn't light up, but Ryan Pochmara was right there, and he saw what you saw, John. 1-0 on the Richardson goal early. First of the year for Brad Richardson. And now Sean Matthias in tight puts one wide of the goal. Yannick Weber couldn't hold the puck in. And that's a delayed offside. They allow action to continue, and the puck is sent to center to Brody Sutter, son of Dwayne Sutter. He takes a hit as he plays the puck into the Vancouver zone. Kevin Bieksa brings it the other way. Bieksa up the right wing. Jannik Hansen cutting in front, and the puck was knocked off his stick by Ron Hainsey. At the blue line, Dan Hamhuis with a wrist shot. That went wide of the goal. Hurricanes onto the puck. It's tipped back for John Michael Lyles, who throws it up the middle, held in by Lyndon Vay. Dorsett fishing for the puck, but it's onto the stick of Sutter, who's able to headman to Brad Malone, who plays the puck in, but it's an icing call, and the faceoff will come back into the Carolina zone.
Well, the Carolina Hurricanes have struggled. They're looking for their first victory, and they won't play again until November, so you want to get at least one victory in October. You can see a lot of it is when you're playing from behind and you're having problems scoring, injuries, with Jordan Staal with the broken leg, Eric Staal with his injury. So who's your number 1 center? Riley Nash. Riley Nash and Jay McClement all of a sudden by default get to be number 1 and number 2 centerman, and the Carolina Hurricanes struggling out of the gate.
Got a delay here. I think when Brody Sutter took that hit in the neutral zone, the glass was dislodged a little bit. They're going to have to fix that. hopefully in a more timely manner than they did in St. Louis last week.
Well, this will give the Carolina Hurricanes a chance to regroup. There's the hit you were talking about. Dwayne Sutter is the biggest of the other generation of Sutters, and therefore Brody is 6'5", and he is the biggest of the next generation of the Sutters.
There's our goal scorer in this hockey game, Brad Richardson, producing a winner on Safeway Score and Win. From Vancouver, Summer Trigg, you've won a Bulova Marine Star watch courtesy Safeway and Old Dutch Arriba or Restaurante tortilla chips. Here's Ron Hainsey on the resumption of play. I should have known they would have been faster than the Crew in St. Louis. The Canucks have the best off-ice crew in the NHL, and they get it done again here. Doug McLean will be pleased with that.
He will be.
Alex Edler with a long shoot-in, gloved by Cam Ward, who drops down for Andre Sekera and gets the puck around and down, and that'll produce another icing call and a whistle.
John, you talked about a trap game, and that's the thing with a first-year coach in the NHL, Willie Desjardins and Billy Peters, kind of the same process to get here. Veteran coaches, and they realize what the players are thinking. They've been around the game long enough, and it's just natural, human nature, that you look ahead to the Montreal and Alex Ovechkin in the last one. Having Eric Staal back in the lineup makes you pay attention a little more.
Stahl's on the ice, hoping for a pass from Simon. There it is, and the puck was knocked away by Yannick Weber. Alex Burrows gets the puck out to center. Stahl's back onto it for the Hurricanes. Check from behind by Burrows. Ryan Murphy gets the puck up ahead to Simmons. Pass across, and offside was Talusti as Stahl moved in over the line.
Eric Staal, and we talk about him, but you get him back in the lineup, and Jordan Staal injured during training camp, out 3 to 4 months, and you're not very deep anyway, but the other guys around him, like how about Alexander Semin? Hasn't got a goal yet, and you expect now that Eric Staal is back that Simmons' play will improve dramatically.
It would stand to reason. Brad Richardson moves in. Gets the puck to Kassian, blue line feed. Bieksa slams that rolling puck wide of the goal. Kassian in for Matthias. Good start to the game for this trio. All three were in on the Richardson goal. Penalty coming up here to Brad Richardson, as he got either a hook or a hold in on Tim Gleason. Delayed call, and Ward goes to the bench as Murphy moves in on the right wing. Cutting in front, centers the puck. It's off his skate, right to Semin. Semin to the right point. Gleason in front. Skinner with a shot, and diving out to deflect that out of play was Hamhuis. Whistle blows, and Brad Richardson will head to the penalty box.
In the offensive zone, Brad
Vancouver, number
15. In on the forecheck. Stick under the arm of Tim Gleason, and Brad Richardson's off for hooking.
Hurricanes trying to set up in the Vancouver zone. Power play hasn't been too bad for Carolina to start the year. Just over 21%, ranking 12th in the league. Canucks killed both Washington power plays the other night. Just the third perfect game for the Canucks this season.
Not very good lately. 1 for 14 in their last 5.
There's a shot by Falk. That's true, actually. They opened the year with 2 games against the Islanders, and the Hurricanes scored 5 power play goals in those first 2 games, so kind of skewing the statistics.
Yes, it helps the stat.
Puck was cleared down. Here's Sekera. Wristing one into the Vancouver end. Dan Hamhuis there first, takes a look. Clearing attempt was blocked, but the puck rolls through to Miller, who covers with 68 seconds to go in the penalty to Richardson.
Well, Ryan Miller's stats aren't as good as they possibly could be. A game where you get the hook early, as he did in Dallas, especially this early in the season. It takes you a while to get your numbers back down.
Eddie Lack Ball cap night for him. Here's Lyles to the side. Murphy trying to put one in front. Blocked. Bieksa fishing for the puck. But the Hurricanes get it. Sent around by Victor Rask. Now at the blue line. Lyles with a slap shot off his stick and wide. Hanhus gathers the loose puck. Wrists it all the way down the ice. Now you always give me grief when I throw out stats like if you just took out the Dallas game, his numbers would be such and such and such.
Yes, that's it.
You're a convert. You're a convert.
Brad Fay talking about the Hurricanes not winning here this century.
Haven't won since October of 1999, but it's only a 6-game stretch. But they have been outscored 24-9 in those 6 games here at Rogers Arena. Trying to equalize here on the power play, which has 15 seconds left. Murphy with a centering pass, knocked away by Lucas Sbisa. And Yannick Weber sends the puck the length of the ice. Jeff Skinner missed the pass from the goaltender. Edler wrists along one in, gloved by Ward. Here's Richardson back on, and Carolina's 0 for 1 on the power play. Hurricanes move in, a wrist shot off his stick and over the glass as Chris Terry tried to test Ryan Miller. Miller's got a 1-0 lead to work with, and that's because of Brad Richardson's first of the year, just in under the bar.
The Canucks for Kids Fun Super Skills competition powered by Rogers will be held on Sunday, December 14th at Rogers Arena. Come see your Canucks up close and watch them showcase their skills and agility at this fun-filled family event. Tickets start at $15, on sale now at ticketmaster.ca/skills.
Who's got the hardest shot, you think? Alex Edler, or maybe Yannick Weber?
Yeah. Two good candidates, Joe. If I sounded distracted, I was trying to get your website up for you, so you can have your statistics. There's a puck gloved in front as Sekera came charging in off the line. Kassian, chance to move the puck out. Now Tanev does to center for Matthias. Richardson knocks the puck forward as he's knocked to the ice. And it's sent ahead to Semin. Into the middle, Tlusny moves it. Drop pass, Semin, drag move, dishes off, Stahl with the puck, hooks it across, but it's out of the reach of Murphy, and the puck's out to center. Alex Edler chases back. He's got time as Stahl peels off on a change. Banks the puck around for Tanev. His pass hit a stick, deflected to Edler, now shot in by Jannik Hansen. Hansen around for Dorsett, tried to return the puck. Hansen battles forward in the corner to the right of Ward. Lyndon Vang, blue line feed, intercepted. And Zach Boychuk trying to move in, but Terry was offside as they moved over the line.
This would have been interesting, John. Was it a hand pass? I know that's what you were thinking. It's batted towards the net, but Brad Richardson, coming back defensively, is able to pick it off before Yuri Tlusny can make contact.
For sure.
Yes,
had
that
it got
would have
through,
been, yes.
Moot point.
Good defensive play.
Yep. Rabada got a high stick there, right off the drop. Checks for damage, finds none, continues on. Henrik Sedin for Daniel Sedin. Hanhus holds the puck into the line. Now throwing forward to center, here's Skinner. Making moves, following up is Lindholm. Skinner couldn't find the puck in his skates. And Rabada takes control for Vancouver. Skinner trying to check him from behind. Hanhus steps up. Sekera takes the puck away. And Hanhus now retreats as Sekera moves out. Long lead pass. Elias Lindholm, and he's got a man in front. Lindholm trying to drag it around Bieksa, who sprawled to make the defensive play. Daniel Sedin heads to the bench after playing the puck forward. Full change for the Canucks. Hurricanes completing theirs as well. Just about 8.5 minutes into the first. 1-0 on a goal by Brad Richardson. Sbisa goes hard into the corner boards as he was involved in a collision. But Chris Higgins has the puck and brings it out. On the left wing, Burrows. In deep for Bonino. Ron Hainsey's there first for Carolina. Hainsey gives the puck away to Burrows. Here's Bonino, shoots, and taking it right in the crest of his jersey was Cam Ward, and he covers out.
finger cooked tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at bostonpizza.com.
Mike Bernstein tending to Radim Vrbata just underneath the shield.
Oh, there was damage.
He gets his stick hooked by Jeff Skinner, and it's his own stick that comes up and catches him.
Canucks back to work in the offensive zone. They've outshot the Hurricanes 4-1 thus far. Scored on their first shot, Richardson. And now Semin moves out with a pass to Gleason, who throws the puck forward. Talusi couldn't corral it. And Tanev turns for Vancouver and finds Edler. Up the right wing, Bonino. Bodied by Gleason. Edler's in deep, throws one in front. No Canucks there. And Eric Stahl comes back for the puck and makes a hard pass to Murphy. Zalusti to Semin, one-on-one on Edler. Semin turns, waiting for help. Edler knocks the puck away from him. And back to collect it is Ron Hainsey. John Michael Lyles, ex of the Avalanche and the Leafs. Chips the puck forward. Bieksa dumps it around for hand use. Stolen. Sent in front by Rask. Here's a chance on the backhand, and Skinner put it wide. Skinner again turning and trying a shot, and that one winds up going over the glass for a whistle.
Carolina trying to force the issue and have 4 guys within 10 feet of the Canucks net and just throw it at the net and hope they get a bounce. Jeff Skinner had 33 goals last year, and he's the one that hangs out a little farther away so that he can get the second shot. Gets it on the backhand, can't get it towards the net, and then had another attempt from the other side.
Still just the one shot credited on Ryan Miller. They'll do that face-off over again. Riley Nash grew up in Kamloops, played for Salmon Arm. On that draw, it's won by Lyndon Vey. And the Canucks move the puck to center. Dorsett's dumping was blocked by Justin Falk. Vey passes back to Bieksa. Here's a long one to Vey, who's in on the right wing. Lyndon Vey centering the puck. Dorsett was there. Falk did a good job to check him. Skinner starts up. Lead pass for Lindholm. No icing as he's ahead of the race. Hansen comes back. Up for Dorsett. He's checked. Skinner with a shot. Gloved by Miller. And it's been a prominent start to this game for Jeff Skinner. Nothing to show for his efforts, nor his entire teams, as the Canucks lead 1-0.
Welcome back to Rogers Arena. Canucks in the midst of their 9th game this season. Meantime, Tom Sestito sitting for the 9th consecutive game, and that's not sitting well with the big forward. Had a meeting with Canucks GM Jim Benning in Denver on Friday night to ask about his future with the team if he was in the coach's plans. And Benning said that just stay ready, be ready, and when you do play, stay in the lineup. Because Sestito says if he's not in the plans of the Canucks, he wouldn't mind playing elsewhere, which Benning says we're not that far down the road just yet. John?
Well, you look at that Anaheim-San Jose game the other day with John Scott dressed and how that ended up. The California teams are big, heavy teams, and I'm sure Tom Sestito will get in some action next road trip.
He had a couple of memorable games in LA and Anaheim last year. Here's Alex Edler towards the goal. Wrist shot wide. Puck comes back to Henrik Sedin, across to Daniel. Daniel has a path to the net. Puck knocked away. Tanev shoots, and that was blocked by Talusti, who felt that. Talusti hunched over, but stays on the ice as the Canucks try to hold the puck in the offensive zone. Justin Falk checked from behind by Daniel Sedin, but Stahl gets the puck around, and Sekera starts out. Lead pass, and just offside. Close play there. That was Chris Terry trying to break in, and almost had an onside chance on goal.
Oh, very close, but the linesman right on it. Here's the pass. Had it been a little harder, Terry might have been able to chase it down, but he is half a stride over. There's a little flutter pass, and you can see Terry is already there.
8.5 to go in the first. Higgins pokes the puck free. Weber moves down from the right point. Higgins making moves on Gleason. Blue line feed. Weber tried a shot. Higgins in for Bonino. Centers the puck, intended for Burrows, and a heads-up play by Cam Ward to get the paddle down and block the pass. At the other end, Jay McClement moves in, centers the puck, and Terry couldn't make contact in front. Burrows for Bonino. Tried to reach back and take the pass blindly, but couldn't. And Ron Hainsey controls. On to the right wing, Zach Boychuk moves in. Puck stolen from him, sent down the ice. That'll be right on Ward, so no icing. Hainsey to center on the right wing. Brody Sutter moves in on the forecheck, hit by Hamhuis, puck thrown in front, and there's Richardson again making a defensive play. Now a left pad saved by Miller. On a hard shot by John Michael Lyles. Probably Miller's toughest stop yet. Just the third shot he's faced. Canucks only had 4 on Cam Ward. Sean Mathias in after the puck. Lyles comes up with it. And he chips one ahead. Brad Malone trying to make a play. He's forced back. And Lyles leads for Rask, who gets the puck a second time and twice can't clear it. Richardson in front, and Cassian couldn't reach the pass. Gliding towards the goal and never caught up with the puck. Malone shoots one in on Miller, and he steers the puck to Dan Hamhuis. Both teams changing with under 7 minutes to go in the first. Hamhuis, good lead pass. Hansen in with a wrist shot. Right pad save. Rebound was there, but no Canuck could get to it. Canucks worked a lot on that this morning at the morning skate. Get the shot low off the pad and move to the net looking for a loose change. It's
hard for the goalie to control that rebound if you keep it at that full distance of the leg extension.
Hansen to Vey. Sidesteps a check of Sekera. Falk is back to pick up the puck. Sekera starts up. Picks his way over the Vancouver line. Now finds some room with a wrist shot. Miller came out to challenge, made the save, and held on.
Sekera had a career year last year offensively, and you can see why. He's got some good moves, decent speed, right up the middle. Beats a man, Lyndon Vey, and then gives Chris Tanev the inside-outside, and Ryan Miller bails his defenseman out. Sekera by Vey, by Tanev, who is reaching for the puck, and Miller makes the save.
Hurricanes control the draw. Murphy tries a shot. Toulouse tried to spin and get one on goal, couldn't do it, and Hamhuis clears the puck down inside the Carolina blue line. Murphy ahead for Toulouse, couldn't glove it down. Senin controls at center, and Stahl didn't vacate the zone in time, so the whistle blows on the offside. Just the one early goal in this one. 5:45 to go in the first. Canucks up by 1.
Welcome back to Vancouver. Canucks leading 1-0, and we remind you to play Safeway's $1 Million Score and Win. If any Canucks player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Scott Furlong of Chilliwack could win $1 million.
There's Jeff Skinner. He was Rookie of the Year. He scored 31 goals that year. The next year he missed 18 games. Jeff Skinner missed the first 4 games of this season. Why? Concussion. And here he is in warm-up with no helmet on, John. Come on.
You think maybe as an organization they might...
Well, you would think he as a player would say, okay, just to be safe.
Not his first either. Zach Boychuk in after a loose puck in the Vancouver zone. Terry's there as well. Henrik Sedin doing battle with both of them. And he comes up with the puck, finds Daniel, who passed into traffic. Weber able to bail him out there, and now Daniel moves in on a pass from Henrik. Wide on Falk, who stayed with the man. Sekera being hounded by Verbata. And able to get away from the heat and roll the puck down into the Vancouver zone. Under 5 minutes to go in the first. Not a ton in the way of offense. Shots are 5 apiece. Lindholm with the centering pass, blocked by Christopher Tanev. Now here's Skinner trying to get a shot away. Had his stick checked. Another opportunity, couldn't find the puck. Winds up on the stick of Nash. Skinner checked by Edler. And Nick Bonino's on to the loose puck. Fan on his pass, but gets a second attempt. Sends the puck near side. Tanev able to chop it outside the line. Edler goes back. Zach Kassian circles back in his own zone. Tanev takes his time before passing to Edler. Whoa, we've seen enough of those this year. Canucks with 4 bench minors for too many men on the ice already. Here comes Kassian. In on the left wing. Stops. Finds Hanhus right off the bench. Dan Hanhus, wrist shot attempt. Block. Gets another attempt off the side of the goal. Richardson centers the puck. Bieksa shoots. Kicked out by the right pad of Ward. Semin. And there's Carolina running the risk of too many men on the ice, but player coming on alertly jumped back onto the boards. Shot from the line by Falk, and that's off his stick and over the glass in the corner to the right of Ryan Miller.
If you're picking the Stars after the first period, Brad Richardson would be my first choice in this one. He's not only the goal, but here, beautiful pass out to Kevin Bieksa, and Cam Ward with his best save of the game, challenging. Very aggressively out on Kevin Bieksa, sees it, and there he controls the rebound.
Been a while since Kevin Bieksa turned on that red light. 31 games going back to last year without scoring. Got good wood on that one. Lucas Spiza, who scored his first as a Canuck, second career game winner last outing against Washington. He makes a play and the puck is sent forward, gloved down by Falk, hounded by Dorsett, allowing Vey to collect the puck. Lyndon Vey to Yannick Weber, wrist one to the side of the goal. Dorsett gets the puck behind the net. Derek Dorsett. Down the boards for Vey, working on Lyles. Vey trying to spin back up the boards. Spiza comes down to help out. Now Lyles into the corner. Dorsett is there for Vancouver. Sutter turns with the puck, can't clear it, held in by Hansen. Vey, or pardon me, it was Dorsett centering for Vey, and the pass was taken away. 2.5 to go in the first. And Miller's out to settle the puck. Kevin Bieksa, good pass up the middle. Vrbata to Daniel Sedin, tried to throw one on goal. Blocked, and Boychuk clears. Dan Hanhus turning in his own zone. Defers to Kevin Bieksa. Now Hanhus slows as he gets inside the line, throws a puck in front, that's taken away. Skinner tried to send one ahead to Boychuk. That was blocked by Hanhus. Lead pass for Daniel Sedin. Delayed offside here, but Sekera plays the puck ahead. Lindholm moves into Vancouver territory. Pass for Nash. He couldn't find it at the side of the goal. Henrik Sedin checked by Skinner as he tried to pick up the puck, and it's onto the stick of Bieksa. Henrik Sedin to Daniel Sedin. Makes a move down the right wing. Daniel drops for Henrik. Vrbata's in front. Henrik makes a move behind the net. Feeds back. Edler kind of double clutched on that one. But he gets the puck again at the left point. Wrist one towards the goal off the right pad of Ward. Murphy after the puck in the corner. Sends it forward to Lindholm. He's checked by Vrbata. And the puck stays in Carolina territory. Nash can't move it out. Both Sedins are on him. Daniel cross-check. There'll be a penalty to Ryan Murphy. And the Canucks will get a power play here with under a minute to go in the first period. And everybody congregates after that cross-check on the sideboards.
Well, the Sedins really controlling the offensive zone. There could have been a couple penalties. Here's the cross-check called on Murphy as he just nails Daniel Sedin down.
Canucks to the power play for the first time in the game. The Canucks power play brought to you by Subway. Try the new Canadian Beef Prime Rib Melt at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
For that, defenseman grabbed Henrik Sedin's sweater and held on. And one of those wide receiver ones.
Dan Hanhus leads the power play up the ice. 40 seconds to go in the period. Canucks scored twice with the man advantage against Washington, but the second one was Vrbata's goal into an empty net. 13th overall in the NHL at 21.2%, but the Canucks are 7th best at home. Higgins moves in, throws the puck across, knocked away, but reclaimed by Burrows, whose pass was out of the reach of Bieksa, and the puck escapes the zone. Just 10 seconds to go in the period. And it looks like the Canucks will have to be content with starting the second period with some power play time. One last shot from Bonino, handled by Ward, and that'll do it for period one. Canucks score on their first shot from Richardson and lead 1-0.
This period brought to you by Toyota's Happy 50th event, celebrating 50 great years in Canada.
Well, if indeed it's a trap game, Brad, the Canucks so far performing like Houdini. They've managed to escape and lead by 1.
Close to the second period, puck drop at Rogers Arena. That goal, the only one so far. Brad Richardson's first of the season, 1-0 Canucks. Now follow Sportsnet on Twitter for real-time scores and highlight video updates from around the league. Every game, every night at Sportsnet, the new home of the National Hockey League.
To the second period we go here at Rogers Arena, and the Canucks on the power play to begin period 2. Ryan Murphy has a minute left in his cross-checking penalty. Canucks looking to build on a 1-0 lead. Edler drops at center for Henrik Sedin. Daniel Sedin back through for Henrik. Turns on the left wing boards, passes to Verbata. Radim Verbata to the side of the goal. Bay centers, that's off his stick and outside the line to neutral ice. Daniel Sedin steps back in. Fakes the back pass. Canucks spreading out. And Henrik from the right wing corner. Daniel, Henrik, back for Daniel, blocked by Sekera. Pass comes to Verbata. Here's Bay, scores! Third goal, all of them on the power play, and Linden Bay gives the Canucks a 2-0 lead.
I don't think that pass was intended for Linden Bay. Daniel Sedin was the intended target, but it couldn't have worked out better for the Canucks. The box collapses down low to prevent this pass from happening. Look at all 4 defenders are in tight. But Daniel misses the pass and it goes right to Linden Bay. And by then the Carolina Hurricane defenders had all collapsed to the middle on Daniel. Cam Ward doesn't have much chance. The back pass for Verbata to Daniel, who misses it, but Linden Bay, right-hand shot, perfect, right on the tape, makes no mistake.
You don't think Daniel just dummied it?
No, I don't.
I've been watching too much soccer. Here's Eric Stahl at the other end, and Miller stayed with that puck. Able to make the save and hang on for the whistle. Linden Bay scoring in the first minute of the second period, and we have another winner on score and win for Safeway and Old Dutch Arriba or Restaurante Tortilla Chips. Arthur Beaulieu of Surrey, you've won a Bradley Original Electric Smoker. Linden Bay already led all rookies in the NHL coming into this day with 2 power play goals. Now he's got his 3rd. Hurricanes at the other end. Skinner with a shot, missed the net. Lyles holds the puck in. Round for Semin. So Bill Peters, little line juggle here. I don't know if it had to do with the penalty kill, but Skinner joining Stahl and Semin, which is where Toulouse played the first period. And Skinner was maybe the best Hurricane in the first, so perhaps that had something to do with it. Chris Tanev with a long pass ahead. That's off a Carolina stick. Back goes Tim Gleason for the puck. Zach Kassian throws it in front, and Sean Matthias couldn't take it off his skate. At the other end, race for the puck. Icing waved off as Terry was ahead of Yannick Weber. Spiza pokes the puck free and throws one ahead for Matthias. Bodied by Gleason. Murphy goes back for the puck. Spiza steps up to hold it in the Carolina end. Now Richardson separates his man from the puck, and Matthias picks it up. Sean Matthias in front for Kassian. Throws one across for Richardson. Comes back to Spiza, who tried a backhander. That's off the stick of Boychuk and over the glass.
And Lucas Spiza looks to Zach Cassian, who threw him the puck. It was in his skate, so he couldn't get the shot away. Cristana's tapping his stick. He wanted the puck. Sean Matthias throws it out to Zach Cassian. I thought he was going to shoot it. Instead, it bounces out to Lucas Spiza. Can't do much with it there. One of the areas, John, where the Hurricanes have done well is in the faceoff circle. They're 4th in the league, and that's without Eric and Jordan Staal. Riley Nash has really done a nice job, and so has James Clement.
They've won 60% of the draws in this game, but trail 2-0. Chalustey intercepts a centering pass, brings the puck to center, right wing feed. Lindholm in front for Chalustey. Couldn't get his stick on the puck in the crease. Hurricanes hold it in. Long shot from Lyles goes wide. Hansen can't collect the puck. Lindholm has it behind the net. Hanius, good job there to tie up Riley Nash, but Chalustey digs the puck free. Onto the right side for Lyles, who's hit by Dorsey. Hurricanes get the puck again. Ron Hainsey with a wrist shot, blocked by Jannik Hansen. Puck out to center. Vey trying to pick it up. Stripped from behind by Chalustey, who moves in with a nice move at the blue line. Wrist shot, big rebound, and Lindholm had it knocked away by Hanius. Good shift here for Carolina. Line juggle paying dividends for this unit anyways. Chalustey combining well with the other two. Now Skinner's back out with Eric Staal and Alexander Semin. Staal takes a pass from Justin Falk. Onto the right wing, Semin. Back for Staal. He shoots, kicked out by the left hand of Miller. Another save off Staal. He juggled the puck, but Miller's able to hang on.
Carolina Hurricanes, a little bounce back here. Pass across, and look at Ryan Miller. Stick down so that he can cover the whole net. There's no way that's going to go through him. And on the rebound, Dan Hamhuis, who deflected that shot, able to clear that rebound away from Ryan Miller.
Best sequence of the game for the Hurricanes, who put up 5 shots in this period already. Just 1 for the Canucks, but Vancouver scored on its attempt on goal. Daniel Sedin moves in, puts the puck between the legs, turns on the right wing. Into the corner for Henrik, back up for Daniel. Verbata joins the cycle. Henrik Sedin tips that one, but lets it go through to Daniel. Cutting off the cycle is Sekera. Puck winds up on the near side. Boychuk with a pass to McClement. And now here's Boychuk with the puck sliding into the Vancouver zone. 4.5 minutes into the second. 2-0 Vancouver. Henrik Sedin starts out. Hoists a high one for Tanev to chase after. Gleason gets to the puck and feeds Ryan Murphy. Long pass ahead, gets by Higgins. Here's a shot, gloved by Miller as Nash moved in with a wrister, and now he and Edler exchange jousts in front.
Bill Peters came over from Detroit, and I think Bill had a couple of choices. He was highly sought after for the team. Pittsburgh was one of the teams mentioned. And you come to Carolina, and then Jordan Staal breaks his leg at training camp. Eric Staal, upper body injury, he's gone, and now all of a sudden you've got a month where it's ending after this game, and you still are looking for your first win.
You're thankful that none of those Hartford teams you played for were on that list.
Yes.
Here's Tim Gleason, sharp angle to the crease. That hit a leg. Puck winds up in the corner. Weber ahead for Burrows. He couldn't move out, but now the puck escapes the zone. Spiza to Weber. Puck tipped into Carolina territory. Ward out to play. Murphy takes his pass, throws one ahead. And the puck is dumped into the Vancouver zone. Burrows the other way. Pass for Bonino. Victor Rask takes that one away. Up ahead for Brody Sutter. Puck winds up on the stick of Kevin Bieksa, who makes a quick shift to get away from Brad Malone. Another shift by Bieksa. He's by a few Hurricanes and in with a pass to Matthias. Sean Matthias across. Richardson stopped by Ward, who came out to challenge. Brad Richardson denied his second of the game. Rush really set up by some creative stick handling of Kevin Bieksa. Now a shot at the other end off the stick of Miller and over the glass for a whistle. Canucks with a power play goal here in the second have doubled the lead. It's 2-0.
Well, Bill Peters has had 3 practices here in Vancouver, and he says in his video sessions he makes sure to show positive things to the players so they don't get too discouraged right now. As for Eric Staal, asked him this morning if as a competitor it bothers him that people are already calling it the McDavid sweepstakes between the Hurricanes and the Sabres. He said, yes, it ticks me off, but we are over, so I understand why people are saying it right now.
Buffalo looked like they were in the Derby tonight. They only had 10 shots in Toronto.
Leafs winning that one, and should have been by a lot more. Vrbata after a loose puck at center. Sekera over to check in. It's an offside play, so Vrbata lets the puck go. Throwing ahead towards Toulouse. Over to meet him is Chris Tanev. Edler, hard pass ahead. Vrbata did well to come up with that one. On to the left wing, Henrik Sedin through for Daniel, and the puck wound up going off the left pad of Ward as Daniel failed to make contact. Henrik for Daniel, missed the pass. And Tanev takes control at his own blue line. Senin takes a spill, but gets back up to pick up the puck. Now trying to draw a penalty. Good work to keep control while down on the ice. Here's Senin with a wrist shot, tipped it. Miller was lifting the shoulders and standing up as the puck went down, but it hit him in the pad. Close call there. But the Hurricanes denied their first goal of the game. Tanev with some room to move. Canucks want to get a change in, and Vrbata will facilitate that by backhanding the puck in deep. Tim Gleason in his own zone. Out to center, Weber takes the puck. Spiza dumps it in from the left wing. Gleason goes back to collect. Came over from LA in the Jack Johnson trade some time ago, Tim Gleason. He's after the puck on the near boards now. Over to meet him is the other number 6, Yannick Weber, but the Hurricanes able to clear.
And then was in Toronto briefly. And back to Carolina. People with the Hurricanes say he's been their best defenseman so far this year.
Chris Terry with the puck. Pass blocked by Hansen. Now Hanhus looks up ice perfectly to Linden Bay. Taking on the defense. There's a defensive play by Gleason. And he winds up with the puck. It's been a long shift for those two. They're going to want to get off the ice, but they're not going to do it on that pass from Murphy. Burrow's moving in, but Vey was offside heading to the bench.
Okay, if they're going to say that's offside, that's too many men on the ice.
Yeah.
You'd rather just have the offside than the too many men on the ice? There's a little saucer pass that goes right through to Cam Ward. He's able to make the play, and sometimes you got to be lucky. Here's the tip, and you can see Ryan Miller is already elevating the shoulders. There's no stick on the ice, and that's tipped right down into his feet, but it hit him.
It's too many men if the puck's on that side of the ice and it's played by the guy by the bench. The door to the bench inside the blue line.
Yes, but if the player who is coming on is on the right side of the blue line, then why is it not all right?
Well, they had the very same one in St. Louis the other night where Higgins was inside the line and he didn't raise a stink about that. So
he wasn't.
Hey, it's our first fight of the year. Here's a chance. Edler centering, and unable to get a shot away was Bonino. Tanev from the blue line. Wrist shot off a stick and wide of the goal. Burrows tried a centering pass. That was blocked. And out with the puck is Zach Boychuk. Nearing the halfway mark of the second. 2-0 Vancouver. Murphy throws the puck forward. Gets it through to Semin, who turns and passes back. Tolusti moves in. Stahl from behind the net. So Tolusti back with these two after Skinner took a couple of turns here in the third with Semin and Stahl. Kassian, one hand on the stick. Doing his best, Todd Bertuzzi, but puck was knocked away from him. Matthias tried to pass back. That's off his stick and out to center. Weber moves back in. Richardson after the puck. Daniel Sedin's onto the ice trying to force it in front. Winds up on the stick of Riley Nash and flips the puck to the Vancouver blue line. Spiza, pass up the middle. Henrik Sedin couldn't take it cleanly. Now Daniel's going to get a penalty as he upended Gleason, and Daniel checks on him.
Tim Gleason and gives him a little tap.
Looks like Gleason's all right, but Daniel will serve 2 for that. And this is why.
Daniel Sedin to sit for 2 or less for hooking Gleason. He's in the box, and Pizza Hut wants you to win an autographed Canucks jersey with their free pizza for a year with their Eat Pizza Win Stuff contest. Go to pizzahut.ca or call 310-1010 to order. You're automatically entered to win every week through November. Pizza Hut is the official pizza of the Canucks.
Second power play for the Hurricanes. Falk with a shot, and Miller able to track that one despite the traffic in front and hang on for the whistle.
Well, good body position by Chris Tanev, and when you lose a face-off like that, you're the defenseman. You want to make sure your goaltender can see that shot from the point. Look at Chris Tanev. Battle, battle, battle. Make sure that his goaltender can see it. Takes Tolusti out of the shooting lane. Good defense by Chris Tanev.
Hurricanes control off the draw. Falk had his pass deflected out by Richardson, who now chases after Eric Stahl. Sekera takes the pass and starts out. Just under 9 minutes to go in the second. His pass off the mark, that'll be icing. And the faceoff comes back into the Carolina zone.
Carolina Hurricanes have been struggling to score. Jiri Tolusti, and you can see the rest of the team, Chris Terry. And
3 of those 4 came in one game.
well, 4 of their top 5 scorers from last year were hurt.
Chance to get on the board here with 1:30 to go in the power play. Tolusti takes the lead pass. Tried to dish off. Blocked by Matthias, who couldn't find the puck, and the Hurricanes get it back, but there's nobody at the right point, and Stahl's pass slides the length of the ice. Matthias out-hustles Tolusti, cuts in front, poke check, and couldn't get his own rebound. A couple times this game, Ward has been busy with that goal stick, and it served him well there against Sean Matthias. Tolusti angled off the puck by Hanhus. Bieksa hit the goal with his pass attempt. And now a shot blocked by Hanhus, who came sprawling out in front of Ryan Miller. .45 seconds to go in the Carolina power play. Skinner's checked at center. Higgins doing some nice stick handling. Moves in, but an extra move put Richardson offside.
Well, you see Sean Matthias do this, and you wonder, John, when he's playing on the 3rd or 4th line, whether he's thinking defense too much and doesn't take the chance. Look at this power forward move to the net. And if you saw more of Sean Matthias like that, I'm sure he would see a little more ice time. This is a good power forward move and a nice stick by Cam Ward.
30 seconds to go on the power play. Victor Rask brings the puck in, rings it around to the far side. Lindholm is there. Jeff Skinner, the other forward. Lyles and Murphy manning the point. Centering pass picked off by Tanev, and he delivers the puck down the ice. Final 10 seconds of the power play. Hurricanes got the one shot right off the first draw. Another attempt blocked by Hanhus. And now they're 0 for 2 as Daniel Sedin steps out. Rask is in low, and Miller way out to challenge, makes the save and hangs on for the whistle.
superb customer service and new vehicle warranty approved products including Valvoline Premium Oils. Great Canadian oil change, over 60 locations across Canada.
Homeways featured participating product for tonight's game is Old Dutch Arriba or Restaurante tortilla chips.
Wow, he's even trilling the R's now.
Yes.
Dan's really into these chips. Jay McClellan has the puck taken away by Daniel Sedin. Henrik Sedin up for Verbata. Puck bounces over his stick. And this will draw an icing whistle just. And a face-off in the Vancouver zone.
Wow. You could have skated faster to get to that icing. Now here's Ryan Miller, and I don't know whether Rolly Melanson likes this so much, but Ryan Miller very aggressively goes out to get this one. I like the play because as a veteran goaltender, you read the shooter. You know he's going to just blast it, so you get out there and make him hit you.
Spoken like the former goaltending consultant, coach of the New York Rangers. Shot by Daniel Sedin and a stick save by Cam Ward. Spiza steps up and bowls over Boychuk. Weber ahead. Puck tap back to Henrik Sedin. Boychuk has a little revenge on his mind there as he steps into Spiza. Here come the Canucks. Daniel Sedin in for Verbata. Centering pass, nobody there. Puck cleared to the line, held in by Hamhuis, who tried to throw one on goal. That was intercepted, and here comes Chris Terry. Gains the red and dumps the puck in. Miller out to lead for Dan Hamhuis. 6 minutes to go in the second period. Canucks up 2-0. Brody Sutter knocked that pass down. He moves in on the right side. Sutter with a wrist shot. That changed direction and bounced wide of the goal. Brad Malone. Round for Sutter. Rask is there as well. Dorsett able to poke the puck around. Down from the blue line comes Sekera. Sutter from the corner. Puck taken away by Hamhuis up to Verbata, who's been out there a while. Now Vey on the right wing. Dorsett with a step, cutting in towards the goal. Dorsett put it through the crease. And nobody there. Puck never got through to Burrows, who was coming on a change. Rask the other way. Brad Malone puts one to the crease, and that's clapped by Miller, who elects to drop the puck for Tanev. 5 minutes to go in the second. Burrows let that puck go through. And Ward leaves for Ryan Murphy. Murphy, the former Kitchener Ranger, steps out from behind his own net. Gets to the Vancouver blue line, loses the puck. Tanev banks it perfectly ahead for Bonino, but he took a look and missed it. Now he's able to pick up the puck and flip it over the Carolina line. Higgins around for Burrows. Pass in front, intercepted by Semin. Murphy follows the play, sends it forward. Canucks tried to get a break the other way, but Burrows couldn't take the pass clean. Now Bonino is checked by Eric Stahl, and here comes Skinner. Semin to Skinner. Round the net. Tried to put one in front, and Miller was able to block that and cover it for the whistle. 4:10 to go in the second. Home team in control, leading 2-0 at Rogers Arena. The wait is over. Time for John Garrett's Fresh Take, brought to you by Subway. Try the new Canadian Prime Rib Melt at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, Doug MacLean was talking about puck control. Here it starts with your defense. Chris Tanev. You don't just chip it off the boards, you control. Here's Dan Hamhuis. Don't just chip it off the boards. Control until you've got to play. And here's Kevin Bieksa. Control until you've got to play. And that is our Fresh Take for this game.
Zach Kassian deep in his own zone. Around for Hamhuis. Richardson leaves in the corner for Bieksa. They haven't chipped it off the boards yet on this shift, John. Hamhuis' pass didn't quite work. Ward plays the puck to the corner. Canucks converge there. Kassian to the blue line. Hamhuis quickly to Bieksa. Wrist one in front, tipped by Richardson, but off the mark. Kassian battling along the boards. Riley Nash checked by Mathias. Hainsey trying to move the puck up, but Kassian did it for him as he tried to feed Hamhuis, who had stepped back outside the blue line. Lyles rips the puck into Vancouver territory. Henrik Sedin back onto the ice. Couldn't get the puck behind the goal, but Hamhuis does. Ward will play that one. And now Boychuk has his pass blocked, and the puck stays in the Carolina zone. Daniel Sedin trying to come up with the puck. Henrik to Daniel. He shoots in tight. Stopped by Ward. He looked around, but I think the puck is between his pads.
He didn't know where it was, but he had it squeezed between his left arm and the pad. Good pressure by the Sedin line. They got in hard on the forecheck. Daniels just trying to get it up as Brad Richardson did. Didn't quite get it as high. Cam Ward, cheater on the catching glove, squeezes it down. Doesn't know where it is, but there it is.
Mentioned earlier, Henrik Sedin doing more of the goal scoring among the Sedin brothers this year. But Daniel came into the day tied for the league lead with 9 assists. Denied his third goal of the season on that close-in play, and now the Canucks are called for icing.
Well, while we've got a second, Brad Fay talked about my good friend Gordie Howe, a former teammate with the Hartford Whalers and New England Whalers, and one of the classiest teammates that I've ever had. Our best wishes go along to Gordie and his battle. The Howe family, one of the tightest families that I've ever met. Colleen and the kids.
One of my bigger thrills during this job was meeting Gordie at Joe Louis Arena one night. First of a few times we were able to chat.
And didn't you feel like you'd known him all your life?
Yep. Close-in chance there for Bonino, denied by Ward. Alex Edler leaves for Higgins. He fires one wide. Here comes Chris Tanev. Bonino battling Gleason. Burrows onto the puck. Stahl moves to check him. Final 2 minutes of the second period. And Higgins intercepts that pass attempt. In front for Bonino, had to reach for it, couldn't get the shot on goal. Canucks changing while controlling the puck. And here's a centering pass to Vey, who's right off the bench. Threw one in front, blocked by Gleason. And Murphy winds up with the puck and gets it out. Vey will try to move back in. He's got fresh legs. Turning on the boards. Now the Canucks have completed their change. But the pass for Spies is not a good one. Canes missed the puck, though. Weber with a shot. Deflected in. I think Jannik Hansen tipped it in front, and it's 3-0.
Canucks get lucky on this one because it could have been a breakaway the other way. This pass to Lucas Spiza is not very good. Lyndon Vey throws it. Spiza's going the other way, but Spiza just got enough so that it stays onside. And the long shot by Yannick Weber, tipped by Jannik Hansen in front. Weber just keeps it onside. It's right on the line. Long wrist shot. I'm sure they'll look at it, but that's underneath the bar.
Potentially the first NHL goal in history with just 1 assist, being Yannick from Yannick.
Oh, very good.
Canucks make it 3-0. Now look for more. But Spiza trapped, and the Canes have numbers. Lindholm in. Canucks hustle back, take away the odd man rush, and Miller able to make the save on the sharp angle shot and cover the puck. We have another winner on Safeway Score and Win, thanks to that third Vancouver goal. Fred Klomp of Richmond on behalf of Safeway and Old Dutch Arriba or Restaurante Tortilla Chips. You've won a Blu-ray prize pack from E1. Penalty here to Lucas Spiza.
Well, he got trapped, and when he was coming back, he ends up reaching. He's coming back, so he's going to reach right there with the left hand and ends up with a holding penalty.
My NHL history has been spoiled by the adding of a second assist to Lucas Spiza on that goal. Now he's in the box, and we're in the final minute of the second period.
He did touch it so that Yannick Weber was able to keep it onside.
As you so adroitly described in the replay.
Yeah.
Hansen's third from Weber and Spiza. Now the Hurricanes onto their third power play. Under 30 seconds to go, and they have to chase back and start from their own zone. Ryan Murphy skates to center. Pass for Eric Stahl. Couldn't drag the puck around Richardson. Stahl moves in on Bieksa. Puck winds up on the stick of Derek Dorsett. He knows there's not much time left. Just wants to keep the puck along the boards if he can. And this period will come to an end. Canucks scoring 2 more in the second. Jannik Hansen, the latest goal after Lyndon Vey on a power play, made it 2-0. And Ryan Miller, perfect thus far. 3-0 Canucks, Brad.
John Shorthouse, thank you. When the Canucks were busy going to the Stanley Cup Final in 2011, Lyndon Vey was winning the Western Hockey League scoring title and paying early dividends for the Canucks. You knew he was going to get lots of opportunity from his man, Willie Desjardins, big backer, and he's got 3 on the power play this year. Canucks have 3 through 2. We're back after this.
Our next telecast Thursday night when the Canucks host the Montreal Canadiens, beginning with our pregame show at 6:30 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet 360. All right, let's look at the scoring summaries. Those are brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago. Just 1 goal in the first. It was Richardson with his first, Kassian and Matthias, and then in the second, Vey, his third of the season, all coming on the power play. Before Hansen got his third late in the period. Mention that Canadiens game, guys, a 3-man booth. Is someone finally in between your bromance?
Jason York will be joining us between the benches.
Does the Montreal games for Sportsnet. The old defenseman. I could call him an old defenseman, can I?
I suppose. What with the color of your hair?
Yes, thank you.
3-0 Canucks underway, third period. And Chris Higgins controlling. Canucks still short-handed for another 35 seconds with Lucas Spiza in the box. So Higgins delivers the puck the length of the ice, and here comes Andrej Sekera. Hurricanes 0 for 2 on the power play, and aren't going to get anywhere with that entry as the puck is sent down the ice once more.
Doug and John were talking about the special teams for the Canucks, and you watch their penalty killers. They're so aware of the rush and stand up well. You almost have to shoot it in. See, there's another example. You almost have to shoot it in.
Sekera didn't, and Daniel Sedin sent them back. Here comes Spiza back onto the ice. Hurricanes 0 for 3 with the power play. Skinner trying to get by Hamhuis. Fell down on the puck to Burrows, but he couldn't move it out. Skinner sends it across. Bieksa the other way, and Burrows hooks the puck to an open wing. Bonino couldn't reach that one. Here's Skinner one more time. Pass for Nash comes right through to the goal. Lindholm was there, but Miller got his goal stick out. Alex Burrows into the Carolina zone. Bonino for Verbata, who had the stick back, ready to pull the trigger. The pass, though, was tipped. And now Riley Nash clears the zone. Nash pressuring Spiza, who gets that pass by Chris Terry and through to Bonino. Verbata moves in to Zach Kassian. Back for Verbata. He deflects that one on goal, stopped by Ward. Close call there. Kassian down the wraparound, jammed it in, did he?
Oh boy, that's going to be close.
Camera might tell us more. Now we got a fight after the whistle. Richardson dropping the gloves with Jay McClement. And McClement in some trouble, helmet off. Comes back with a right hand. Ward coming across with the left skate, and Kassian trying to bank it in on the wraparound attempt, and they may have a look at this.
I don't know how that didn't go in, John. Zach Kassian has it. He's wrapping it around unless it slid right underneath the pad of Cam Ward. You can't see it. But how did that not go in? And there's Brad Richardson, and Jamie Clement didn't like that. Okay, it's underneath his leg. Is there video evidence that that's across the line? And Brad Richardson, that's why Jay McClement didn't like that, so he went after Brad Richardson.
We had one a few years ago in a shootout where you never saw the puck. It was underneath the pads. But because the entire goaltender was behind the goal line, they ruled it a goal.
Okay, now there it is. It's squeezed. It's in between his legs. You still can't tell.
To finish my thought, you can never make that call on that one because not everything was behind the goal line. Meanwhile, McClement and Richardson get 5 each for fighting. Teams stay at full strength. Derek Dorsett bumped by Boychuk. Vay's pass was behind Weber, but Miller able to tip the puck to his defenseman, who makes an extra move of the line and then shovels the puck to Lucas Spiza. Ahead to Jannik Hansen, the third Canuck goal scorer in this one. Dorsett, after the puck behind the net, runs into Victor Rask. Rask carries to center, being hounded by Hansen. Let's go with a wrist shot blocker save for Miller. 3 minutes gone, third period. 3-0 Vancouver. Justin Falk sends one ahead. Here's Cassian. Cassian knocked down in the corner. Now puck thrown in front. Cassian falling down on that opportunity. Sean Mathias off the right wing. Centers the puck and nobody can get a stick on it. Hurricanes win possession. And Semin on the right wing at center. In over the Vancouver line. Stahl centers. What a stop by Miller off Yuri Tlusty. You can't believe it. Shaking his head as he heads to the bench. He thought he had a gimme.
That's just a great read by Ryan Miller.
Icing call, or is it offside? Whistle one way or the other after a sensational stop from that man.
And Rolly Melanson will like this one because Ryan Miller's back in the blue paint. He reads it really well and comes across with his right pad. Tlusty can't get it up high enough to get it over the pad. Miller, look at how deep he is on this one. And he's able to make the save.
Sedin's on for Vancouver. Only their second shift of the period, and the first one was only about 30 seconds.
Now, why is Alexander Semin in the penalty box?
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll find out now.
Sounds like an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Didn't like the icing call?
Yeah, could be.
We're talking about Alexander Semin before, and that was one of the things without Eric Stahl that some people were questioning his effort level.
Power play Canucks. They're 1 for 1. Vay had the goal. And here's Daniel Sedin to Henrik Sedin. Henrik for Daniel in the crease. Puck knocked away. Vay hustles after his man Tlusty to try to hold it in, but it's cleared down the ice. Alex Edler drops for Henrik Sedin. Vrbata had to reach back a bit to take that pass, and now he misses Vay, who's blaming himself. Slams the ice in frustration as the puck slides down into the Vancouver zone. Henrik to Daniel. Sedin's play catch again. Here's Edler. Daniel Sedin. Vrbata was at the point. Now he moves down towards the corner. Takes the pass on the sideboards. Back to Edler. Henrik with room on the right side. Vrbata sneaking in. There's the pass. Picked up. Riley Nash read that well, and he sends the puck down into the Vancouver zone. 45 seconds to go in the power play as the Canucks change up the personnel. Carolina does the same. Chris Higgins following up is Bonino. Pass towards Weber. Yannick Weber, Bonino, Hamhuis. Weber again. Hard pass to Bonino. Nick Bonino puts one in front. Tipped by Higgins and a glove save by Ward, who just got enough of that one. Bonino from the corner. Burrows on the goal line. Had his stick chop. Puck was knocked through the crease, held in by Weber. Final 5 seconds of the power play. Bonino trying to one-touch to Burrows. Didn't work, and the puck sent down the ice just before Semin steps on, and the Canucks are now 1 for 2 with the power play, still leading 3-0.
You know what we'd say if it was Henrik and Daniel? One too many passes.
Yeah. Canucks have a 2-on-1. Dorsett in on goal. Shoots, stopped by Ward, who swats the puck to the corner. Mathias making moves there. Sean Mathias finds some room coming off the boards. Still with the puck. Wrist shot and a pad saved by Ward. Murphy gets the puck ahead to Semin. Alexander Semin in with a drop pass for Victor Rask. Tanev picks that off, brings the puck around, and the Canucks have numbers if they hurry. Dorsett on the right wing. Tried to pass in front, and that was off a Carolina stick. And John Michael Lyles advances the puck to Victor Rask. He throws one onto the right wing. Not enough for icing, says the linesman, as Tanev goes back. Quick burst to get away from Terry, and a lead pass to Henrik Sedin, who drops for Daniel. Another drop to Edler, down for Daniel. Round behind the net. Daniel Sedin leads for Vrbata. Behind the goal to Henrik. Henrik Sedin still controlling. Hainsey watching him. Canucks trying to get open in front. Henrik shovels the puck to Vrbata. To the blue line. Quick shot. And Weber's attempt was off his stick and wide of the goal. Henrik Sedin spinning behind the net. Banks the puck to himself off the back of the goal. Goes after it again, comes in front. Daniel trying to get it on the backhand, and the Hurricanes clear to the side and clear the puck out. Terry moves in. Fans reacting to that shift by the Canucks top line. Now a centering pass knocked away by Miller. And the Canucks break out 2-on-1. Daniel with Weber. Daniel in. He shoots, and a blocker saved by Ward. Daniel on the rebound trying to put it in front. But winding up with the puck is Justin Falk. Long bid on Miller. And he makes an easy save and hangs on for the whistle. 11:56 to go in the third. 3-0 Canucks. You're watching Canucks hockey live on Sportsnet.
3-game packs available now. Buy yours before Friday and be automatically entered to win a bonus pair of low bowl seats to see the Canucks take on the Leafs March 14th and an autographed Henrik Sedin jersey. Visit Canucks.com/3-game-packs for details.
Another face-off opportunity for Eric Stahl, and just back from the injury, he's won 12 of 16 face-offs.
12 of 17 now. Canucks draw that one. Richardson winning it. Dan Hamhuis ahead to Yannick Hansen, and he backhands the puck out. Richardson was just out for face-off duty. He heads to the bench, replaced by Derek Dorsett. Andrej Sekera plays one hard around to the near side. Salusti throws a check on Hamhuis. Puck winds up on the stick of Hansen, who elects to turn back and backhand the puck around for Dan Hamhuis. Lead pass, Bieksa deflects the puck forward. Gleason going back, works it to Ryan Murphy. Canes throw the puck to the other side. Bonino hustles after it there. Working in tandem with Alex Burrows. Bonino tried to pass back. Intercepted, and here's Lindholm in with a wrist shot wide on the short side. Bonino chops the puck out. Ryan Murphy for Carolina drives it back in. Bonino tried a little chip pass. That was broken. Lyles with a shot from the line, blocked by Bonino. Now Burrows takes control and makes a good pass to Chris Higgins. Canucks changing in behind him. Higgins trying to force the puck deep into the Carolina zone, and he does. Richardson, Tanev, Edler, and Higgins couldn't take the pass clean. Here's Richardson coming in front, trying to center for Kassian. The pass was blocked. Hurricanes break it out. McLennan tosses the puck in. Edler has it for Vancouver, along the boards for Richardson. Nifty pass to Sean Mathias, who relays to Alex Edler. In on the left wing, Edler drops for Mathias. He leaves for Edler. Tried to throw it across, puck comes to Kassian. Zach Kassian, right point. Tanev waiting for traffic, lets it go, and Richardson might have got a piece of it. Ward made the save with the blocker. Into the second half of the third period. Canucks leading 3-0. Edler drives the puck into the end of his shift and hustles to the bench. Justin Falk trying to bring the puck out, ran into his own teammate. Here's Henrik Sedin dropping for Rivada. Broken up, and the Canes break to center. Eric Stahl to Jeff Skinner. Back to Stahl, shoots, and Miller stayed with him and made the save. Eric Stahl again, and the centering pass blocked by Bieksa. Tulosti intercepts. Here's Skinner in front. Waited too long. Chance for Tulosti, scores. Looked like the Canucks were going to get away with a turnover, but Yuri Tulosti into the open net makes it 3-1.
That all started in the offensive zone when Henrik Sedin tried the drop pass and Eric Stahl and his line came down, and the Canucks never got reorganized defensively. Here's Henrik with the drop pass, and it's intercepted, and now the turnover here by Daniel Sedin, and look at Skinner, the patience of Skinner, and that creates some open ice. Everybody's chasing Jeff Skinner, and Yuri Tulosti comes out and finds the empty net.
Tulosti has his 5th shutout bid broken. On the 24th Carolina shot of the hockey game. Now the Hurricanes looking for more. Ryan Murphy checked, and Dorsett kicks the puck to Lyndon Vay. Here's Jannik Hansen, penalty coming up. Delayed call. And as Riley Nash gets the puck, the whistle blows. And the Canucks, having just surrendered a goal, will go to the power play. Third power play chance for the Canucks. For that, Gleason on Lyndon Vay.
Tim Gleason in the box for 2 for high sticking. Canucks going to the power play. Let's take a look at this day in history and both franchises in this one. Eric Stahl scored his first career hat trick the night before his 21st birthday. It was against Philadelphia back in 05 and 07. Trevor Linden tied Stan Smills, the Canucks' all-time leading assist maker. Now he sits third behind a couple of guys named Daniel and Henrik.
My lovely bride Sharon's birthday yesterday, so I can wish her a happy birthday. Eric Stahl's is tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Sharon. Sorry I missed it again. Hope John didn't. Power play Canucks, Gleason off. And here's Henrik Sedin. To Daniel, back for Henrik. Had to reach for that one, now goes after the puck in the corner. Hurricanes clear to the line, held in by Edler. Down for Rivada. Canucks still going with the 4-forward set. Even here in the third period. Edler tried to throw one in front, that was blocked. And hustling to the puck is Brad Malone. Lyndon Vay leaves for Henrik Sedin. Hughes has come on to replace Edler, and now they'll probably change more personnel after the offside whistle.
X-Men: Days of Future Past. Own it now on Blu-ray and DVD.
Doug MacLean talked about the power play with the 4 forwards, and Lyndon Vay didn't like the fact that he did take that one step as Henrik had the deke at the blue line.
Now the Canucks put 2 defensemen on the ice with the second unit. Cam Hughes joined by Bieksa, Benino, Burrows, and Higgins up front. Higgins on the left wing, trying to go wide on Lyles. Salusti comes back to pick up the puck, and he's able to wrist it up the middle. Bieksa goes back for Vancouver. 7 minutes left, third period. 3-1 Canucks. Chris Higgins rings one around. Burrows lifted the stick at Hainsey, allowing the puck to come back to Hamhuis. Over to Bieksa with some room. Bieksa shovels the puck along the boards for Benino. Hurricanes try to clear. Bieksa holds the puck in. Higgins is in front looking for the deflection, and Ward able to make the save and cover the puck.
I like the fact that the Canucks, their 2 power plays are so different. The second group, they like to get it back to the point and then jam the net, take the shot, get it through. There's Chris Higgins waiting, good position, just get the shot through, and Cam Ward has to make a good save. And the other power play unit is all about down low, and you've got the 4 forwards circling and pass, pass, pass.
Tell us about this unit, John. Richardson, Mathias, and Cassian.
With 7 seconds left, it's not really. It's
not fair?
No, that's not fair.
Given equal opportunity, we'll try to figure out their style as Mathias moves down the left wing. He's had a strong game, maybe his strongest of the season. Pass in front, cleared away. Puck chipped back in. Cassian waited for Mathias to clear the zone. Now he plays the puck to the end boards. Falk to Salusti. And his pass blocked by Mathias. Puck deep in the Vancouver zone, under 6 minutes remaining. Chris Tanev up ahead to Henrik Sedin. Henrik by himself, line mates jumping onto the ice now. Moves in, throws a hit on Gleason. Gleason with a word for the referee. A couple of words, he thought that was a high hit from Henrik. Raskin with a shot, and a glove saved by Ryan Miller, who hangs on for the whistle. Miller looking for career win number 300. He's 5.5 minutes away from potentially getting it.
Sport Check is giving you and a friend the chance to win a training session with a Canucks strength and conditioning trainer. This once-of-a-lifetime experience also includes a signed jersey and authentic Canucks workout gear. Go to Canucks.com/trainlikeacanuck to enter.
Pat O'Neill would be the one trainer that I want to win a training day. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a training day with Pat O'Neill. We'd have fun.
You would. You do? What do you mean you?
Yes, yes, we do.
Chris Tanev trying to come out of the pile with the puck. Henrik Sedin onto it. Daniel tried a dangerous pass back. And Rask collects deep in the Vancouver zone. Riley Nash checked by Vrbata. Puck towards the blue line. Daniel can't get it out past Falk, but now it's sent the length of the ice. And it'll be just enough for icing.
Protect your engine in temperatures as low as 40 below with Mobil 1 Advanced Fuel Economy. Mobil 1. Energy lives here.
Sharp and Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts, and you could win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to a Grand Bahia Principe Resort, courtesy of redtag.ca.
Under 5 minutes to go in this one, the second of a 3-game homestand for the Canucks. They opened with a 4-2 win over Washington, trying to put the finishing touches on this game before hosting Montreal on Thursday.
Montreal was a winner in Calgary in a shootout. Carey Price, very good again. And he'd had some problems in his Alberta games.
Here's Skinner rushing in, cutting in front, and a left toe saved by Miller on the nice dash into the Vancouver zone by Jeff Skinner. No quit in the Hurricanes in this one, trying to avoid an 8th straight setback to start the season. Spiza runs into Jay McClement. Weber collects the puck. Ahead for Hansen, who's able to get it by Murphy and out to center. Weber knocks that one away, but from his own side of center, and it's icing with 3:49 left in the third.
Well, you look at the two coaches, and Bill Peters and Willie Desjardins, been around, both coached Western College, both Memorial Cup champions, both in the Western Junior League, both had their teams in the Calder Cup Championship, both in the American League, and now finally get their chance to be head coaches in the NHL.
One enjoying his start to that chapter more than the other. Scrum along the boards for the puck. Here's Falk. Slap shot, hit a body in front. Weber plays the puck ahead to Dorsett, who turns, now backhands it past Falk and out to center. Weber able to get to the bench. Spiza forced to stay on. Now he'll hustle off as the Hurricanes have trouble moving ahead. Lyles reaching out was Matthias. Carries it. Kassian reaches back to get that puck and sends it into the corner. 3 minutes left in the third as Lyles lifts a long one into the Vancouver zone. Boychuk just onside. Tanev plays the puck to the corner. Edler gets it ahead to Matthias, who makes a perfect bank pass to Zach Kassian. Kassian carries down the left wing, trying to cut in front, and a poke check by Ward, I believe, as Kassian made like Matthias earlier in the game and made a nice power move off the wing. At the other end, the Hurricanes offside with 2:36 to go.
Zach Kassian with the power move. Protects the puck, leans in. And Cam Ward with a good stop. Ward had to stop that one. It's tipped right on goal by Sekera, and Cam Ward had to come up with a good stop. Cam Ward has one more year left on his contract. Pays him average 6.5, 6.8 next year. There was rumors that he was going to get traded at the deadline last year.
Anton Hudobin, the backup for the Hurricanes. Sekera for Murphy. Pass was in his skates. Tanev lifts the puck back over the blue line. Henrik Sedin is onto it. Drops for Daniel Sedin. Henrik once more. Pass for Daniel. Now Verbata to Henrik. Behind the net for Daniel. From the left wing corner, he passes along the end boards. Henrik trying to come out front. Pulled down. Play goes on. Here's Verbata. Diagonally back. Bieksa with room. Fakes the shot. Now lets it go, hoping for the deflection from Daniel Sedin, but the puck went wide. Henrik off the left wing. Rink wide for Daniel. They're killing a lot of time, if nothing else. Putting on a puck handling display as well. Verbata around for Daniel Sedin. And the fans starting to get into this again. Daniel's pass finally broken up. And Murphy controls with 1:20 to go in the third period.
Here comes the goalie. Nope.
Not going to be able to. Has to retreat as Burrows moves in on the left wing. He's content to kill some time along the boards. Final minute now, third period. They'll try to get Ward to the bench, and now he goes as Rask moves in on the right wing. Victor Rask shoots, Miller the save. Rebound, he stopped that as well. Lindholm with a shot, and a glove saved by Miller. 3 saves in succession with 51.4 seconds remaining.
People might say this has been an easy night for Ryan Miller, and relatively, I would agree, but you look at some of the stops he's made, and especially that one on Yuri Tlusty early in the third period. First 2 minutes of the third period, that save on Tlusty. Had he let that one in, then all of a sudden Carolina, and you look what happened. The Rangers last night in their game against Minnesota, they're down 3-0, get an early goal, get right back in it.
Well, here's a look at some of his work from tonight as Carolina takes a timeout.
Positioning, left pad out, in control, positioning. Nothing's going to squeak through. And those last two, charging very aggressively out. And rebound control has been sharpened. There's this one I was talking about on Jiri Chalustny to start the third period. His best and timeliest.
Chalustny eventually able to beat him, the only Carolina goal here in the third. And now they leave the goalie on the bench, 6 attackers with very little time left, down by 2. Edler ties up the puck in the corner. Now Chalustny is able to come up with it. Sekera, left point for Falk. Puck got by him. He sends it in for Stahl. Puck jammed on goal, and Miller holds his ground, and now in comes the cavalry.
Pushing and shoving. Riley Nash trying to find a rebound. Eric Stahl has been the best of the Hurricanes in this one. His first game back, throws it out in front. And then Ryan Miller's able to get that right pad down. Right pad tight to the post. Dominik Hasek was one of the guys that Ryan Miller was tutored by early in his Buffalo career.
John Michael Lyles passes down. Skinner threw on a cross. That hit a leg. Puck ricochets to Ryan Murphy. His pass blocked. Tanev got a loose puck, gets it ahead, and Burrows shovels it up to Richardson, looking for his second of the night. Got it! Brad Richardson scored the first goal. He's got what's probably going to be the last one as the Canucks go up 4-1.
Well, Brad Richardson, another good night for Brad Richardson in the face-off circle. He's above 500. He's out there in the last minute for face-off duty. And then Alex Burrows spots Richardson and gives him the easy one.
Another winner on Safeway Score and Win, 2 of them provided by that man. From Abbotsford, Donald Ross. Congratulations on behalf of Safeway and Old Dutch Arriba or Restaurante tortilla chips. You won a Hoover Air cordless vacuum. Richardson from Burrows and Tanev by my recollection. And now the Canucks will watch time expire. Richardson scoring twice, and that means career win number 300 for Ryan Miller, the 30th goalie to get to that plateau. 4th among active leaders as his Canucks win it 4-1.
And you look at those other guys on the list. Roberto Luongo here in Vancouver with the President's Trophy winning team a couple of years. Division winners 5 years in a row with Roberto. Lundqvist, the Rangers. And Ryan Miller was getting his 300 wins playing on a Buffalo team that was very budget conscious and really not that good.
Brad Richardson scored twice. First goal, last goal. And Lyndon Vey had what proved to be the winner on a power play. The Canucks 4, the Hurricanes 1.
Canucks hockey. Brought to you by Subway. Try the savory new prime rib melt. Thick cuts of juicy Canadian beef for a limited time only at participating restaurants. Subway. Eat fresh.
Canucks make it 2 in a row at home, and here's our game review brought to you by The Brick, saving you more on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Power play was good again, had a bunch of chances. Lyndon Vey with the goal, and Carolina Hurricanes still struggling a bit. And the Canucks win the games you're supposed to win, and Ryan Miller made sure that the Canucks did. Carolina hasn't won in October. They get Eric Stahl back. They had lots of reasons to play hard, and the Canucks took that away from them.
Canucks looking for a perfect homestand. They're 2 for 2 to start and close it out against Montreal on Thursday. Canucks 6-3 on the season now. And waiting to take a turn on the ice is the #1 star of the hockey game, who gets his 300th win here against Carolina. Ryan Miller stopping 29. And after he gives that stick away for being recognized as the first star of this hockey game, you're going to hear from Ryan Miller with our own Dan Murphy. He's #1, Brad Richardson #2, Alex Edler the 3rd star, and here is Ryan Miller with our very own Dan Murphy.
Thanks, guys. Ryan Miller, 300 career wins. What does the milestone mean to you?
It means I've been playing a while, I guess, but it means a lot. You know, had some great players around me over the years, and it's fun to kick off my journey with a new group of great players and reach a milestone.
30 saves this evening. The one I think of is early in the third on Toulouse. Did you have a good read going to your right?
Yeah, Stahl we had good pressure on Stahl, so he let me sit back and make a read, and he made a nice pass. But you know, when the D gave me a chance to make that read, you know, you can get there in time.
Are the games that everybody outside the locker room predicts an easy win sometimes the toughest to play?
I don't know. Every team in this league is dangerous. These guys came in, they had a little bit of rest, and you knew they'd be hungry. They have some talented guys coming back in the lineup and getting their kind of their flow back. So, you know, they skate well, and you know, they're going to be a dangerous team when they get healthy.
Finally, a win on home ice. Another one. Do you feel like you guys are making this a tough building for the opposition?
That's the plan. It's good to see the boys skating really well. I mean, that's going to be the key for our success this year is are we going to be above the puck in skating, and the boys are doing it.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Third active goaltender with 300 career wins, Ryan Miller.